and I have been watching it for a while. I want to.
The
It's like,
long
oh,
night.
I want to get with it, and then you switched it to 7:30. I'm like, well, I'm not going
Oh,
until midnight with
I
this
just
podcast.
I just realized that your mic's backwards.
How's that better?
No, actually, it's not. Check your settings on that
Yeah,
one, mother.
right.
Sounds like you're in an open room.
No, I'm good. Infinity symbol and gain.
Oh, you know what? Check if you're using the right microphone. It almost sounds like you're using the MacBook one.
Oh,
God,
okay.
get it together. It's okay. I just noticed it now. Not your fault. Just go to Discord.
Madeline
Voice.
microphone Yeti. Oh.
How's that better?
Oh, so much better. Yeah, you're using the microphone one, the MacBook one. Much better. Yeah. we gave ourselves an extra 10 minutes and we still couldn't figure it out.
This is why we got calling early.
Yeah, this is a good point. Good point. Let me move. Well, I guess I don't really need Discord right now. Mom, you just have to move your mic away from the laptop because I can hear myself twice. There we go. Yeah, much better. Get it together. Get it together, mother. All right. I think we're good. I think we are good.
Okay.
Perfect. Send text messages midstream? Okay, mother.
Yes, I am. Too bad.
After the 2.5 week non-streaming layoff, we're finally back.
Listen, you better tell people I have a bad cold because I was coughing a lot during dinner. I think I was annoying Dad.
Really? That's not good. I thought I was getting sick today, but then I realized I just need food. I was like, I'm just hungry. I felt kind of woozy. I was like, is this it for me? Can I get to a podcast? But just like a professional, I plow through. I push it down and I keep going.
I'm so concerned I infected your brothers that I'm afraid to ask them, is anybody sick there? All I keep doing is sending text messages. Take zinc. Take your zinc. Don't forget your zinc.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take one tonight. I'm going to have to take a precautionary zinc.
Always.
A
Always. That's what I
precautionary.
told them. I said, just take it anyhow. Take it every night for the week.
Yeah. What else? What else? You doing anything this weekend, Ma? Anything interesting?
No, getting over my cold. That's about it.
Yeah, I haven't done much either, except for just
No, I
editing.
changed out got rid of the Halloween stuff, right? We didn't have a lot of kids this year for Halloween.
I have to ask
So
Aunt Susan. I have to ask Aunt Susan how many kids she had. Because when we were there, she had 20 kids. That was it. Not even 20. Maybe like 12. I was like, damn.
Your light is really bright today. You're so washed out.
That one? Well, that's because
Yes.
I don't watch it. Watch this. Watch this, mother. Ready? Hold on. Watch. I'm about to blow your mind. Boom. That did nothing. I thought that would do something.
My mind does not
What's up,
blow,
Christy?
Chris.
Damn it. I thought I had a chance.
Does it help you to have it
Hello,
that
Christy.
bright? Maybe you're better off shutting that light off. I don't know.
Well, it's better. There's no in between with this light, which sucks. Hello, chat. Yeah. So I mean, this weekend didn't do much. Halloween was kind of a bust this year. I won't lie. Watch, and I bet. Wow, I'm just very blurry. I think I might have to stand up and just calibrate. What's up, girl? But no trick or treaters. And then I was like, maybe this year I stay home in my apartment, and maybe they come to the apartment. No one was here. Literally no one. I was like,
And
okay.
it was really strange because it was a nice night and it's a Friday night. I thought, oh, we'll definitely have some kids and we'll have them later. It's not a school night. The weather was up in the Northeast. The weather was not too bad.
Right.
And nothing. I mean, a small amount, well, one group, but we don't usually get a lot, but definitely less than I had last year.
Well, luckily, I didn't get too much extra candy and eat all of it. Last year, I just ended up eating 2 full bags of candy because no one came at my apartments, which was bullshit.
Yeah, I repackaged it all. They had to hide it.
Yeah, which is not good. So, yeah. Other than that, I mean, we don't have that much time, as you said, so we can get right into it if you want to. We got a lot of news articles to go through for. This is episode 159, Mother. Can you believe we've done over almost 3 years of this podcast? Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Hey.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
So with live podcasts, for viewers that haven't been here before, we're going to go through news articles for basically, since this is the first one we've had in a while, we're going to go through kind of like the month of news, like the big news, I guess you could say. And then in between articles, you guys can give us your thoughts, opinions, and we'll talk about it. And then at the end of all of this, we'll do a Q&A for whatever else you guys want to talk about. So I don't know where you want to start today, Mother. I kind of put them in an order, and you I always put them in like an order of most important to least important, sort of.
Oh.
So I think the biggest one right now here, let me just switch it up to,
Why don't you do domestic and then international?
Domestic and yeah, I guess we could do it that way. And then hold on. Now I go to podcast.
I didn't have any medical
I like
ones. Usually I have medical ones.
One or two medical ones, yeah.
Well, the other one I saw, Scott Adams from Dilbert,
Dilbert,
the cartoonist. He does Dilbert.
No clue.
Is he political? No, you don't. Oh, he's basically terminal with prostate cancer.
Oh,
and he's become very pro-Trump since the last election. I don't know what he was before. I don't know if he was lean Democrat before, but
oh my God, that's
he reached out to the president because his insurance approved an experimental medication for him. But I guess he needs the president to authorize it to speed it up or get them to do it at HHS, something like that, so he could take it because he's literally like in the hospital now and he's going to die without trying something. So that was the only article I saw that might have, wide-ranging interest for people because he was very vocal during the last election, posted a lot of stuff, had some real insight, and it's kind of a shame to see that he's fading very quickly. I hope
really. Well, all cancers are like that.
Goes to switch.
Yeah.
Well, we've known he's been terminal for a while. he hasn't hit it, I think, for at least the last year. So, and that's a big. Dilbert's very big in a lot of newspapers, comic strip. Yeah, he's like an office guy.
Mother, why would you think our demographic is reading newspapers still?
Well, no, but some people know Dilbert. They'll know some of the cartoons, Simpsons and whatnot. Anyhow,
yeah.
So I wouldn't. It's not obscure. A lot of people do know him. But anyhow, that was the only medical thing I saw. It's like Plukavit, or the drug was unusual name.
I'm always amazed by how the medical advancements we've made with AI the last couple of years is just insane. But anyway, let's just get into the news before we go into other stuff that we don't have articles on. But I think are we going to war with Venezuela, Mom? Is it time? Is it time we go after Maduro or however you say his name?
Well, the White House is saying your article is fake. I think this was in the Miami Herald. That the information is not accurate. However, we do have ships off the coast. We do have limited flying. I think the TSA or the whoever has said that no flights in the Puerto Rico Caribbean area.
That doesn't have anything to do with the hurricane in Jamaica right now?
No,
don't go near
I don't
it.
think so. No, this has been it's been escalating, let's say, or we've been moving forces in there for a couple of weeks now. It's the next phase against these drug cartels.
Right.
They're planning on striking military sites, but they're thinking airstrikes, right?
Right.
Similar to what he did in Iran and whatnot.
I was just baffled to see 500 tons of drugs, specifically cocaine. That's a lot of coke.
Well, and the UK yearly. That's their business. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's all they have.
It's oil and it's cocaine is what they're drugs. So they're trying to basically cripple the cartel leadership. There's some mutiny going on in Maduro's military. Apparently, there's a couple informers there. So I think they want to see him gone as much as, or some of them want to see him gone as much as the U.S. does. There's a $50 million bounty on his head, right? They raised that over the summer. They want Maduro, right. The U.S. does. The lieutenants, they got a $25 million bounty on their head. So a lot of people want him out, not just us. So we got carrier strike groups in the Caribbean. Not enough of a presence for a full-scale invasion. Yeah. But definitely enough there for some airstrikes. So I think
we've already bombed the crap out of their little fishing boats. So, it's just a matter of how many more people are you going to let out of how many I don't want to call them fishermen, but you know what I mean. But how many times you're going to let them be in international waters, kind of heading towards the U.S. or towards other places of that Caribbean international waters before we do, hey, guys, you're sending 50 of these a day. We got to do something. And I think that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, and I think that number's starting to go down. There was even a submarine the other day, so they're trying other methods to get it into the country. I mean, this is a big business, and they'll do whatever they can, and that's why it's so important that I gotta believe we're getting some sort of I don't know if it's a help or nod from the UK, although they're in a mess right now. But it's a problem for them too. You got to figure quite a couple hundred tons are going to them too, destroying that country.
Yeah.
So I did see an article though where Putin's like, "Oh, if anything happens in Venezuela, we will help our Venezuelan friends," which is why you always have to be careful that these type of things escalate into something bigger than they need to be.
Right.
And there's one thing I will say about Trump, to his credit, he's not looking for any long-term wars. So he doesn't make the mistake so far, what others have done, where they tiptoe around the edges and then we get drawn into these battles. He goes in, he strikes, he hits where it needs to be hit,
Yeah.
and so far it's crippled them.
Yeah,
So
I
I don't
guess
know.
you are playing kind of a dangerous game, right? With like you don't want them in, but you don't want to do a full scale war, as you said. And then you kind of get to this weird middle point where, let's say, like Putin comes in and helps Venezuela, but you also can't allow them to keep funding the cartel, which by proxy is affecting us. Like I don't know if you saw, but I think literally today, a couple of hours ago, that mayor in Mexico just got assassinated by the cartel.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't
So
surprise me.
has to do with drugs again, drug money, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Where are they getting the drugs from? Venezuela. So now so at what point, and this is what I mean by that middle point, there's got to be some tipping point where the U.S. has to get involved, but not quite go to a full scale war, and that's the tricky part, I think.
Well, the sad part is we actually have Democratic leaders who are saying, you can't attack those boats. What Trump's doing is against the law. Are they insane? Like they'll try. They
Yeah.
will fall on their sword now for the drug cartel. I mean, I just don't know how bad a look. What kind of PR? How much worse it get for them?
Well, look
You're
at
actually
the
going to take the side of the drug
yeah.
cartel boats to make sure they get in.
Well, remember that
Because we
MS-13
know,
guy that they defended for like 6 months? Whatever happened to him? Same
right?
concept.
But we
That makes no
we're
sense.
now starting to realize that this drug industry has reaches in the U.S. and some have alleged that politicians get some of their money from these
No.
drug businesses.
What?
Yeah, some have alleged this. Don't know if it's true, but it just is becoming very suspicious how much people turn a blind eye to what's been going on for so long, killing American citizens.
Yeah.
But these are the industries in Mexico. These are the businesses in Mexico. The cartels basically run those countries. And Venezuela's getting just as bad. This is their business.
Yeah. Well, let me just move. I just want to separate these two. So minimize this. Put that there. We're good. Huh? Huh?
But Venezuela used to be a beautiful country,
What have I done?
prosperous, uh,
Hold on.
lovely to visit, and then the socialism creeped in, and gradually, the store shelves emptied, the hospitals turned into, dumps with no medications and nothing.
Yeah.
Then you get the dogs roaming the streets, and now it's just basically funded by cartels and drug money and
I'm sorry, I missed that.
maybe
Are you
oil.
talking about Mexico or are you talking about Venezuela?
Well, Venezuela right now, I'm saying Venezuela used to be, not too long ago, a very prosperous country. I
Yeah.
can't,
When was it that socialism just absolutely obliterated that place? How many years ago was that?
I'd say like 10, 15 years ago
Yeah.
when Maduro was falsely put in office. They had an election, and all of a sudden the socialism creeped in. And the government took over all the companies, all the industries,
Mm.
and turned it into government run. And once you do that, socialism sets in.
It's crazy to
The
me
food
how
store.
it's crazy to me how I literally like printing paper is worth more than their dollar. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy how little their dollar is worth. How they can afford anything is insane. But yeah, to your point, I don't know. Like I'd have to really look into it on where the wealth, where the oil money, all that stuff goes. Besides the government, like what kind of programs are they putting it into? Because everyone I know who's escaped Venezuela are always like, "Yes, I really hope Trump just bombs the shit out of Venezuela." I'm like, "Damn, you guys must really hate
doesn't.
it."
It goes to It goes to China. It
Right.
goes to other countries that need the oil.
Right.
Usually other socialist or communist countries. That becomes the market, and then they pump the drugs Ironically, not into those countries. They pump it into the enemies of those countries, like the United States and the
Right.
UK and the Western world, because that's what cripples those nations. They literally murdered, what is it, 100,000 US citizens every year just by pumping fentanyl into our country and other drugs.
True.
Hey, you don't need to have soldiers on the ground if you're guaranteed to wipe out 100,000 every year. So,
Yeah.
it is a threat to the certain nations like our own. And yeah, the interesting part, because it has turned like within one generation, there are those who remember what it used to be like.
Yeah.
And all
True.
these promises of, oh, it's going to be so wonderful. Well, now they're living with the hyperinflation. They're living with no medicine and with no health care. And, I don't know, the education system. So they know better. They remember how it used to be.
The good old days. Speaking of socialism, let's just go right into New York. Why New York? Oh, what is this? Ugh, I hate. How come everything has an ad blocker now? And I mean everything. They're like, please subscribe. Nope. All that does is make people click off your site. Have they not figured this out? There you go. Okay. See, there's a little trick for all of you who are trying to get around those. Getting started. So, why New York yuppies love God, I can never say his name. Zohran Mundani.
Mamdani. Mamdani.
Hey, careful how you say that, Mom. You might be saying it wrong, and you might be
Just do your hooked on phonics. Just sound it out. Mamdani.
Mamdani. I don't know. Hey, maybe you said it wrong. Who knows?
Zohran Mamdani.
You might be getting some hate thrown at you by the way you said that one.
It's an interesting article about who's actually backing this individual. You would think it was, young, poor people we were just talking about before the podcast, low income individuals. It turns out it's not. He's appealing to more, you would say, upper income by most people's standards in New York. And they highlight the Brooklyn area, which is like the heart of the liberal part of New York City. And it's more about their mentality and how it's not about responsibility anymore. It's about entitlements. They think they need certain things. So they've gotten themselves into debt. And even though they make this much income, but it's so expensive to live where they live, this individual comes along and promises, you know what? Socialism, just like they did over in Venezuela. It's going to be great. We're going to underwrite all these issues for you. And you know what? I sit back and I say, watch what happens, everybody.
I have friends in New York City who they make a lot of money every month and they're still struggling. They say that in California, specifically LA, you have to average you have to make $1 million to live comfortably in California. In New York, you have to average about $10,000 a month to live comfortably in New York City, which is like, I don't know how that works.
Said about $183,000 a year, because they compare it to an individual in one of the poorest states, or not as in West Virginia.
Right.
Now, they don't make as much money in West Virginia, but the point of the article of the person writing it is, but the person in West Virginia can live the quote unquote American dream without any government subsidies. They buy a house, they save their money, they work hard, they put their kids through school, and they live comfortably. They try and do the same thing in New York, but you need more money to do that, right? And so they borrow more, and they have to have the 3-bedroom apartment for, like you said, $10,000 a month. No, you don't have to have those things.
Yeah.
But it's become so ingrained in them that, yes, I live in New York. That's what it costs if I want a 3-bedroom. And now they feel like, well, we shouldn't have to pay for it. That needs to be subsidized. And along comes somebody who feels like everybody should have a 3-bedroom apartment in New York that's worth $10,000, but nobody should pay that.
Right.
He's going to drive out businesses. He's going to drive out, they're already leaving, high-income individuals who support that tax base, right?
Right. Oh, he's gonna run New York into the ground, no question about it. But I think the problem for me, and the part that I'll never really understand, and this just kind of goes to that, I don't know if you call it the woke mindset, or here's what I'll give Democrats, and I mean like the Democratic people, the good, like the ones that lean left.
Right.
They think with their hearts, and I appreciate that. But when it comes to the long term of what they end up deciding, like it's almost like the long-term thought process just goes out the window. Like Mamdani says, hey, we're going to get rid of police officers and we're going to have some kind of, what does he call them? Like people with paper, like I don't know. I forget the phrasing, but it didn't make any sense. Like, let's get rid of the police force and have these people that just kind of walk around and keep a check on people. It's like, okay.
Right.
The socialized markets, right?
Yeah.
The
The
what
food
guys?
stores.
You don't think that people who can't afford it are just gonna? I guarantee you, within 3 weeks, those food stores will just be robbed every day. And then who's gonna have to pay for it? Us with our tax dollars, right?
Right.
And then he'll say, well, that's part of the plan. And then he'll ask for government assistance to, like, he'll ask the White House to bail him out. And it's like, that's not how this works. You have a shit plan. So,
Right.
and the politicians, of course, they always seem like, oh, the way they sell it to you is this is such a great idea. It's what everyone wants, makes everyone happy. And then you look at the long term. The long term just doesn't work. It doesn't work out. Free public transport. Every single bus is going to be homeless people who just would rather sleep on a bus than out on the street. It's free.
Right.
So it's like again, I appreciate the idea on paper, but when you put it into practice, it doesn't make any sense. It's not going to work.
Right.
So
Socialism
yeah.
has never worked.
Ever.
It has never elevated people out of poverty. It has never solved the problems that they always say it's going to solve. And every generation has this nut basket group that has to go through this exercise in futility.
Yeah.
Problem is when it's different now. These aren't the poor people who are screaming for it. These are who desperately need these things. Don't take my entitlements away. It's higher end individuals. And you said, they have compassion. Well, this article says they equate dependency as compassion. In other words, well, you have to take care of us because we need you to. That's not compassion. That's being dependent on the government.
That's like the
right?
food stamps right now, right? They just got rid of food stamps. The amount of videos that I'm seeing of people who are on food stamps that don't need food stamps is crazy. Like, I watched this lady come out of a store and say, this sucks. I'm going to have to actually get a job now. And I was like, like, you can't, like, okay, how do I get on this free handout thing?
Well, I'll tell you the shutdown, and to move on to another topic, but if it hasn't highlighted one thing, which is probably the worst things Democrats ever wanted, and that's why, unfortunately, I almost want this New York guy to win. He might not. Cuomo was catching up, but I almost want Mamdani to win, to once again, in the faces of the people of New York City, of this is what you wanted, right?
Right.
Now, you watch how fast they all turn and say, I never voted for that. I didn't want this. The same people out in the streets screaming his name and shaking the signs, everything that they want free. They're not, this is New York. You want to go into a store that has no bread, no food? You think COVID was bad with no toilet paper? Watch these people. They will freak. I didn't sign on for this. Yes, you did. They need to learn a lesson here, right?
Oh, yeah.
And when you look at, and now on a national level, those SNAP benefits, right? So I think we talked about this last time, how you asked about the shutdown and all these, it's basically down to one thing. Republicans do not want to give healthcare benefits and subsidies to non-citizens. Democrats want it for all people. That's the difference. No, we want it for all people.
Right.
And Democrats will now even say, no, we only want it for American citizens. But when you look at the breakdown on those SNAP benefits, to your point, there are those who abuse the system, right?
Yeah.
Many of them American citizens. The interesting thing about it, what people have to understand is, if you have a U.S. born child, say you're illegal, your whole family's illegal, but you had a child here in America, because of birthright citizenship, they automatically become citizens. You can now apply for benefits for everybody in that family under the name of that child.
Right.
People don't understand that. So when they say, oh, no, only American citizens are getting those benefits. No, they're not. It's going to American citizens, but it's being given to an entire family. They may have one or two kids that qualify for these benefits.
Right.
So it's very fascinating. I don't think I didn't include that article, but when you really look into where these benefits are going, it's outrageous. I think it's billions and billions of dollars that are spent every year on these benefits that nobody's aware of. Sure, it sounds like, oh, they're starving. Interesting fact, only 4% of American households face, quote, food insecurity. That's not hunger. These children are starving. They're not starving.
Yeah.
Only 4%. Now that's too many, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but it's food insecurity.
4% of 300 million is still a lot.
But it's not that they're starving.
Right.
They make it sound like they're the children of Africa in a famine.
Yeah.
They're insecure, meaning they may not know where a meal's going to come next, but they're going to get it somewhere. School, a program,
Right.
down the street, whatever. That's a very interesting fact because they will lead you to believe that the president Republicans are starving the children. That is not necessarily true.
So Elon was just on Rogan yesterday, and they were talking about how a lot of this government shutdown has just showed how many jobs are useless. Like we talk about how this shutdown really hasn't affected any of us. Right? It's affected people that work, but Elon was talking about how useless 90% of the government is. And then people complain about jobs being lost. And it's like, well, these jobs aren't needed anyway. So you kind of get
we were ahead of Elon by 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He said this on the podcast, exactly that.
Exactly.
I was all for the shutdown. Go ahead, start axing them. I didn't feel any pain from it.
But how could you take away their jobs, mother?
Who says they're entitled to their job?
I know. That's a weird thing, yeah.
I'm not entitled to my job. I've been fired from a job. They had bad economics, bad economy. The stock market crashed. They let a lot of people go. It happens in the private sector. Why should the public sector be? Why should government jobs be any more secure than anybody else?
Right. Yeah. But I think that's going to be the biggest wake-up call by the end of this government shutdown. It's a shame. Like, I don't know if the military's been taken care of yet. I know that they had the big donation from that billionaire, but I don't know if that's enough, especially since we're on our third week of the shutdown. But I think we might be going on.
There's some talk that it might end sometime next week. A few reasons. You got a big election on Tuesday in New Jersey and in Virginia. And reason why they're big is because I think psychologically it will set a tone. The fact that they're this close, I think, is very frightening and encouraging at the same time.
Close? Wait, what's close?
The Democrat and the Republican. New Jersey traditionally has been a blue state, right?
Yeah,
and
it's about to flip.
Well, they're within a point of each other now.
Oh, wow.
And the election's on Tuesday. Now, a lot of stuff can happen, obviously, but the fact that they've gotten this close, I think is very shocking to a blue state that's been blue state. I heard a statistic from Scott Pressler. In the last election with Governor Murphy, 600,000 registered Republicans in the state of New Jersey didn't even vote.
Wow.
So when you hear that statistic, you have to stop and say, is it really a blue state? I mean, it is because they get up and vote. But let's see what happens. Same thing down in Virginia. I don't think Virginia is as close. But you also have the SNAP benefits that are expired on the 1st.
Yes.
Right?
So this is what I'm looking. I just pulled up the article right now for the SNAP benefits. I didn't realize you sent me an article on that one.
Oh, I did. And then also you have all these Obamacare subsidies. They all expired, right? And now people are starting to do their health care. So there's a lot of things going on within the next week or so that they're saying there might be some movement because Democrats just can't push this anymore. Healthcare for everybody. Too many people are starting to find out what they really mean when they say that.
Right.
The SNAP benefits, they're exposing something they didn't want the American people to see, just how much is wasted on that program. I mean, it was a staggering number of people. I didn't bring the article, but when I saw that, I said, are we a third world country that many people are getting benefits here? I mean, we really have to ask ourselves. We're either the whole program is beyond corrupt, or we're basically a third world country where we can't even feed a good chunk of our citizens. And I don't believe that.
I'm just reading this article on the side. Washed up ex-CNN host Don Lemon insinuates Megyn Kelly is a man. That is crazy.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Don Lemon, talk about a career that's just shot. It's like trying to revive a dead horse. It's just not happening. What's this, Mom? Arctic frost drainage expands 100+ GOP targets. Is this another?
No, I mean, just another, corrupt thing going on.
Wait, I brought this up in a podcast a couple weeks ago. Remember the Arctic frost? Yeah.
Well, more information has come out this past week where they subpoenaed phone records and whatnot through Verizon and AT&T.
I saw
the
this,
administration through Jack Smith. He spied on Republican members of Congress and others, breaking all sorts of laws. And apparently they're they're hoping the DOJ brings charges against, remember Judge Bozeman?
Oh, yeah.
Boasberg, whatever his
Bossman.
name was, yeah. Okay, so this is the guy that signed off on these, on the spying and whatnot. So breaking at least 3 distinct laws that you can't do this with sitting congressmen. There's codes and whatnot. So I'm curious to see what happens. But this is a big story. Even if it was Democrats and Republicans, it's a big story. It's getting zero attention. Nobody cares. Oh, yes,
Wow.
they were spying on members of Congress. Okay, no big deal. It's a big deal, regardless of which party it is. And the fact that, I know a lot's going on right now, but still, I wanted to bring attention to it because I'm like, if people don't know about this, you might want to pay attention to it,
I saw it wasn't just so also people outside of the U.S. government got hit by this. So like a lot of French governors or like politicians, English, like it's a pretty big scandal. That's not really talked about or being talked about.
It isn't.
So we'll keep an eye on that one.
Political spying is just out of control in this country. I mean, what's been going on in our governments is just beyond the pale of what I can even, I'm like, it's just every day you open it up and you're like, oh my God, what today? What is going to happen today?
Yeah, it does kind of feel like that. Like the $300 million ballroom that everyone's upset with. I was looking at this. Now, I was like, man, do we really need a $300 million ballroom? I didn't realize it's Trump's personal money. It's not, taxpayers are not paying for it, which is pretty cool. So the money comes from his settlement. Yeah. But a lot of it comes from his settlement with the social media companies from banning him. So like I think it's more than half of it is being paid for by Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, especially Alphabet. Like Alphabet's, I think, paying a huge amount. But I saw it was the first time. And let me make sure my stats correct on this one. But it's the first time that something has been made by a president with their own personal finances, not tax dollars.
Yeah, and the East Wing was falling apart. And my understanding is when they would do state visits and there's usually a fancy dinner, a ballroom, blah, blah, blah. They'd have to erect tents each time for the overflow.
Oh, really?
Which, if you're going to have a president do a ballroom or any changes to the White House, you have Trump do it.
Right.
I saw the Lincoln bathroom. So the famous Lincoln bedroom. Are you aware of the Lincoln bedroom?
Yeah, that's where. So where is the Lincoln bedroom? Is it West Side, North Side, East Side? Where is it?
I'm not sure where it is, but it's in the White House. He redid the bathroom, and they showed before and after pictures of it. I was afraid when I heard that. I'm like, oh, geez, do I want to look? Is it going to be like a gold toilet or something gaudy? I think they did a very nice job. And that's where people, everyone wants to stay in the Lincoln bedroom. It's considered an honor to stay in that bedroom. It's really very nicely done. And little,
old
fancy schmancy.
Oh.
No, it's all marble and whatnot. I got to find the picture for you. I didn't post it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I did see a picture of that. Yeah,
in the mirror and whatnot. I think
some accents. Who needs a little gold accent?
Right. But for the young viewers, listeners to the podcast, Jackie Kennedy did an overhaul of the White House when they got into office because it was falling apart and no repairs had been done. Like people take this for granted. The same thing happened at the time when Queen Victoria moved into Buckingham Palace, where the Queen Elizabeth used to live. There were rats everywhere. I mean, that was in the 1800s, but it was falling apart. So, if you don't maintain these residences, like anything else, they wear and tear. So right. I don't really have a problem with this. It should have been done.
It's so funny though. Sorry. I know I hate cutting you off, but that's just because of the delay on Discord. But
I ramble.
It's okay. But I just find it funny how mad, especially Democrats, are getting because it's his own money and not taxpayer dollars, right? He's paying for it. Not us. Right. He's paying for it. So he's the one living there. He should be allowed to do it. He's not destroying anything historical. It's not like he's tearing the whole thing down. As you said, we've had presidents change it up over the years anyway. But I don't know. It's not like any of us are sleeping there, so.
Yeah, well, I will say this. I'm not crazy about a president just going in and changing things at the White House.
Right.
It's not their house. It's the people's house.
Right.
That's why we get to tour it. That's why, you can go visit it. But as I said, if anybody's going to do it, you know, I wouldn't want Ford doing it. I don't want George Bush doing it.
I want
I can
Nixon doing
appreciate
it.
if Trump's going to do it, he's going to do it with quality because that's what he's known for, and do it properly.
The guy that builds hotels is probably the best guy to do it. Let's be
He's
honest. Yeah.
right. And he's a construction guy. He knows what he's doing. He'll get it done, and it sounds like it's being done right. When their head's going to explode is when he will probably want a plaque and call it the Trump Ballroom or something like
Well,
that.
they're naming it after Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
it's gonna be the Kirk Ballroom.
Okay, so their heads will explode over that one because you can't do that. Okay.
Now, how do you feel about the other monument that he's building across from the Lincoln Memorial?
I don't know, what is it?
Okay, he's building. It's the same one that they have in France. It's freaking huge. Well, let me look it up. Trump's.
I know they're all going crazy because a lot of the Confederate soldiers are being put back. The statues that were torn down after Floyd, a lot of them are being reinstated in these parks, and the names are getting put back, and all the forts, and they're all freaking out over that one.
It's called the Arc de Trump. I think they're kind of doing the idea.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about
I want
right.
to see if they have a rendering of it. Oh yeah. So hold on, let me move it over here.
A mini
so you can
version of
see
the
it.
Arc de Triomphe.
Yeah, see that? Look at that.
I can't see it.
You're not looking at the. Look at that thing. It's huge. Look at the size difference between that and the Lincoln Memorial.
I can't get it. I only have you and me.
All right.
I don't have your screen.
You don't see my screen being. Mother.
No, I see the feed, but let's see. Let me. Nope. Don't have it.
All right. I'll just send it to you, I guess. Our viewers can see it, but it's almost tripled the size of the Lincoln Memorial.
Oh, jeez.
Which, hey, how do we. I don't know. That just seems a little unnecessary, but I don't know. I think it is kind of to prove or make a statement, like you couldn't take me down sort of idea of the Freedom Monument, but we'll see what they end up actually calling it. I feel like they're not going to name it after him, or he's not going to name it after him.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know what it would be for.
Yeah, it's going to be, by the time it's done, he won't be president anymore. They can't build that in 4 years or 3 years.
Trump can get it done.
Well, I have to say, let's change it up a little bit. He's ending war after war after war. If there's anything that I've learned in the last 3 weeks, I would say, probably a little longer than 3 weeks. I did not realize how many freaking wars there are in this world besides the big ones that we know about. So I guess Thailand and Cambodia have been at war for 20 years now. Little things. I shouldn't say 20 years, but quite a few years now. Over, I don't even really understand what it's over, to be honest. I read this thing 3 times. I was like, they just call it Malaysia affairs.
Well, goes back to the early 1900s when you had the French occupation over there.
Right.
All the boundaries they had to, when the French left, they had to reestablish boundaries. But now you got temples in one place and religious things in each side, and then you have like any place else. There's always border disputes. People who were once considered Cambodian, now they live in Thailand. They're not happy. You have unrest.
Yeah.
So that's normally how it starts.
But Trump just comes in. He's like, cool, you guys sit down. We're going to make a deal and we're done. Which, again, love him or hate him, he's ending these wars. You can't really deny that. Now, can you make the argument, is he really doing that much besides just facilitating a deal between the two? Sure, but either way, a peace deal is a peace deal. So what is this, number 9 now for him, I think? Now, the Gaza, well, let's call it 8, but because I don't think we can really call the Gaza-Palestine war necessarily dead. Or over, I should say, because they had the ceasefire, then Israel bombed Gaza again. So I don't know where we're at with that. So I can't say. I thought we were done with that one. I was like, well, that's a big one. But then
throughout our country's history, the president of the United States has facilitated lots of peace deals just through the strength of the country.
Right.
So Clinton did a deal with Egypt and Israel. Jimmy Carter tried to broker a deal over there. They had some agreement with Anwar Sadat and Begin. So it happens, you know. That's part of being a first world nation and using maybe not the power of the US, but the influence of the US to get people to sit down, communicate, and have a third party come in and say, okay, I understand you. I understand you. Now let's come together to an agreement.
Right. Um, the other good thing that came out of this was he's kind of doing like an Asian or Malaysian tour right now because he went
Yeah.
down with Xi Jinping, and
Yes.
I think they lowered the tariffs. They finished a deal where a lot of good things are happening. I didn't realize they need soybeans. China needs soybeans from us, I guess. I didn't know we were
Okay.
big carriers of soybeans, but that allowed them to facilitate a pretty good deal. But
Yeah.
I don't know if this moves the needle. Did you see that idiot reporter in the room while Trump's talking with Xi Jinping? And I forget what she said, but they were like, "What are you doing?" She just had like a crazy manic episode, essentially, in front of Xi Jinping
God.
and Trump. And they're just like, "What is this?" So
Yeah.
that was kind of funny.
Knowing Trump, he's like, "You're deranged. Get her
Get out.
out."
Yeah.
Him out.
They're talking about getting her press card taken away, which that's probably the right thing to do.
He did a tour. The president just did a whole Asian tour,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
and I don't know. I don't know if we talked about this last time, but the Japanese prime minister
Yeah.
gave him Shinzo Abe's putter.
Whoa, really?
Yes, and she also donated 250 cherry trees to Washington D.C. for our revitalization, which I thought was a great idea. He was really moved by the putter, really moved by that because he had a very good, strong friendship with Abe. You know, he was assassinated. So the
Aw.
Japanese prime minister at the time, president at the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, that was a very nice way to kick it off. And he met with the first. She's a very conservative prime minister in Japan.
She's
She really
like,
wants to work with the US.
it's such a big, people don't really realize how big of a deal it is that she's the first female president there, considering it's a prime minister, sorry. It's a male-dominated Congress. So like she's like one of the very few females in there. And then for her to become president when her father, sorry, I keep doing that. Her father, I forget what he did, but the mother's police officer, like kind of like the Democratic sort of ideology family. And she's like, no, I'm like very similar to Trump in a lot of ideologies. So
Yes.
it's very interesting, but yeah, it's a big deal.
So anyhow, he was touring the whole area. So he's putting out fires wherever he goes.
Yeah.
And part of it was the big meeting with Xi Jinping and also Cambodia and Thailand dealing with that issue. So yeah, he's back now.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Came
know
back a
who
couple days
can't
ago.
stop a war? Brazil. Did you see the giant war essentially that broke out in Brazil at Rio de Janeiro?
No, but they've been having a lot of problems in that country.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could blame Lula for 90% of them. But so Rio's a weird one. I've learned a lot about Rio. It's essentially, it's like, I don't want to call them a good cartel, but it's broken up into factions, and each faction is kind of owned by a gang, and then they basically just deal drugs. Not so much, from what I could tell, it doesn't seem like it's much drugs outside the country. I'm sure that's like a bigger deal, but it's just territorized, I guess is the word, just by area, right? And each area defends the people. So you could be a civilian there who has nothing to do with the gangs. They just they're like security for it when the police can't be there. But I guess the drugs are getting so bad in Rio that the police said, hey, it's time we do some kind of drug raid. And it went from like, hey, we're going to take out this one house that we know is a drug house to essentially a full-scale war between police officers and I don't know if I would call them cartel, but they're more like gangs. So it was, we're going to get like these 4 guys in a room that we know are drug dealers to, I think it was 2,000 police versus a couple hundred of these cartel members, gang members. And then they arrested 139. Oh, I'm sorry. They killed 139 gangsters, and then 4 cops died. But we're not talking about like just guns and stuff. The cartel, I'm going to call them the cartel because I keep saying cartel, but you know what I mean, had drone strikes. Like they would just tie grenades to drones and just go after police officers, which is crazy. So,
Yeah.
and then what's kind of ironic is the people, it makes sense. I shouldn't say ironic, but the people there are upset that these gang members are killed because they're the protection for them. They're the ones that make sure like the area is safe. Even though drugs are not good, they kind of see it as the government doesn't help us out. So these people are doing what the government should be doing, even if it's not the right way of doing it. So I don't know. And then the mayor or governor, whatever you want to call it, he reached out to Lula for help, and Lula wouldn't do it. And now other places are asking this mayor to do the same drug bust in their cities. So it's just very strange how you're in a predicament where the gangsters are taking care of the people better than the government.
Yeah, it's called corruption because the gangsters now own those people. And you're just creating fiefdoms, right? With no unity as a nation. And that's how a nation starts to fall apart. It's medieval. The system is basically medieval. That's how they used to do it in olden days, right? You had the castle with the king, and everybody supported the king, even if he was a brute, because the understanding was he was going to protect you if somebody broke in and did it.
Right.
But they're doing something. They're all protecting I won't say it's an illegal business because by definition, that's what every country deems illegal, but it's the business of creating drugs that aren't necessarily helping people, put it that way.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's protecting, or that's the golden goose. And from that's how society is run in these little fiefdoms, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, even though you may have nothing to do with the golden goose, everybody's got to respect the golden goose. You all got to feed the golden goose, and you got to behave because the golden goose says so, right?
Yeah.
But it's not sustainable. And in general, what kind of nation is that?
Yeah, you can't.
When this is how you live your lives.
Yeah, you can't run a city on drug money, right? You just can't. It's not gonna last forever. So.
Oh no, you can. Mafia's done it for a long time.
Not really. I mean, there's a difference between. I don't know if I would say that's true.
You can own the police force. You can own the governor. You can own the state.
Right, but what I'm saying is, but that's sure, but that's not owning them, and drug money is kind of different. Like these people are not wealthy people. These gangs are not that wealthy. It's just territory wars. So I don't know how to put this.
Okay, so the gangs aren't wealthy.
Yeah.
But the king who runs the gangs, and that could be anybody, and you may not even know who that person is. That money's going somewhere. Probably a good chunk of it goes to Lulu and his people, right?
Yeah.
He's getting his piece from all these different
He must be if he's not helping the mayor out, right? Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. And Rio's such a big area, big city. The fact that these factions are just that powerful is very scary. So,
remember they tried to do it out in Colorado. The Venezuelan gang tried to take over the housing complex and in Colorado. That's their way of doing things.
Did we ever find out if that was whatever happened to that? Did they just wipe those people out, or what they do?
Yeah, Trump got in there, or the
he did.
People got in there and started, and they fought it, and people still complained, but now they shut that down.
Yeah,
and got the elite. They started with the ones with criminal records, which is basically all of them, and started rounding them and getting them out, right? So yeah, but it's a form of government that has existed since medieval times, but it doesn't last, and it's medieval. We don't function in that way anymore as in society. There are different expectations now. Having said that, there are a lot of places. I mean, parts of New Jersey, they have Islamic police officers, and it's no-go zone. You can't go there if you're not of the right background. It's too dangerous.
Really?
They're not gonna do anything for you. The police won't go in there because they don't want to fight with the Muslim police officers, right? So it's a no-go zone. They have it all through UK. That's what happens when one group comes in. It happens to be Muslim here in the one spot, but you saw in Colorado, and that's how they exist in some of these I mean, I don't want to call it a third world country because I don't know that Brazil is considered that, but you had these.
Well,
What does the government do?
yeah,
Who
Brazil's
is in
kind of on the
charge?
verge of they're on the verge of an economic collapse, realistically.
Right.
Like Lula and his little party has really done some work on Brazil, but I just don't know what you do when a major city that's like New York City. Well, I mean, I think Rio's bigger than New York City. That's like New York City being run by gangs, like completely run by gangs. That's kind of insane to think about. We've seen the mafia do parts of little cities, but they've never run the whole city. And like that's your police force, that's your government, because your mayor's not doing anything. I don't know. It's just crazy to me that a drug
I
bust
think
turned into this.
you're naive of the fact that that has absolutely happened in the days of Tammany Hall, where the Irish mafia, if you will, ran New York City. They owned the mayor, Jimmy Walker, right? You've heard
Oh,
his
right.
name a
Yeah,
few
that's true.
times, right? Tammany Hall. He was a figurehead mayor of New York City. He showed up, did some speeches, and left. He didn't run the city. It was run by the leaders of, at the time, mostly Irish, because those were all the immigrants who came in to the south of New
Right.
York in the 1800s, and they were determined, and they took over every institution. And yeah, they ran it. They had elections, but they
True.
decided who's going to win the election. So it absolutely
Yeah,
happens.
I guess that's true. And then what's his name came in and got rid of the mobs. Giuliani, thank you. Yeah, Rudy.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
need a
people
Rudy.
take for
They
granted
need a
what
Rudy. Put Rudy in there.
When Rudy was in his prime, I mean, he did do, like it or not, and I even think some liberals were like, yeah, it was a lot safer when Rudy was there. They don't want to admit that, but he really cleaned up New York City from decades and decades of a lot of mafia influence and drugs and all sorts of stuff. But there's only so much you can do. The pendulum swings back and forth. But let's see what happens in Brazil. That was not a fair election when Lula was first elected. Everybody knew it. That was before our election here. Everybody saw it around the world. People screamed, hey, Brazil, you can't do that. And they said, you know what, try and stop us. And look what happened.
Yeah.
Another
And then he put
socialist
and then his political opponent he put in jail, Bolsonaro.
Right.
Yeah. So that he couldn't run.
That was the start of it. They tried to do that here. They've done it in France. They're doing it. They tried to do it.
They could never do that here, Mom. It's not possible here, Mom. Anyway, speaking of illegal busts, did you see this? This is a little old, but Lithuanian police bust a major bot farm. These bot farms are insane. So let me show you a picture of one of these. Ow.
What is a bot farm?
So fake accounts on the internet.
Oh,
right?
that. Oh.
So
literally a farm.
No. But like you got to see. Let me. Oh well, you can't see it. Our viewers can see it.
No, I
But
don't know what happened.
you got to learn how to work Discord. We got to do like a class or something at this point.
Oh, wait a minute. I got it. Okay.
Yeah. So look at this. These are all essentially cell phones. Ready? 50 million users were busted. So like these people are pretending to be 50 million people just berating the internet, right? So the dead internet theory, like this kind of proves that it's real. In the sense of 80% of the internet is just fake, just bots and stuff.
Yeah,
But
I believe it.
look at that. I mean, it's all. Oh, let's see this one. Look at that. So each one of those is a cell phone with a SIM card, and then they just keep duplicating it over and over and making accounts. So,
Label.
yeah, 50 million. I was surprised. It doesn't take that much power to do, actually, in comparison. But,
Jeez.
yeah. I mean, the concept that the internet is dying is kind of starting to become a reality. Like now I really don't believe anything on the internet in the sense of people.
I know, and I find myself when I look at comments from people, I'm like, some of them are good, and some of them like, is this even a real person? Like some of the comments repeat over and over and over. It's the same thing, but in different verbiage. And either people are really just that stupid, which they are, or like, you know what? It just feels like it's, like talking points. They hand it to the stupid news people and they say the same thing over and over again. They can't think for themselves.
Yeah.
That's why I do agree with you. I don't. You don't want to bother even reading the comments sometimes because you don't even know if they're real.
Right. And this one, yeah, I'm kind of been coming to the conclusion like 90% of the stuff you see on Twitter, Instagram, any comment is just a fake person. It's not a real person. But yeah, I thought
And
that
by
was
the
crazy.
way, why Lithuania of all places? Tell me something you know comes
Yeah,
from
I
Lithuania.
wonder why.
What is Lithuania known for? You know, I'm like,
Yeah,
come on.
it's a good point.
Why is that? Are they making money? Like, is this something that the
Well,
government
they were
makes
doing
off of these
cyber
bots?
crime. So these guys were doing some kind of crimes as well. So like doing
Oh,
scams and stuff. But still, I mean, that's why they got arrested. Because I don't know if it's actually,
Lithuania.
yeah. I just don't know. I don't know if it's exactly illegal to make that many fake accounts unless you're actually doing something. But I don't know. Speaking of illegal activity, Prince Andrew's final military title is stripped. Prince Andrew just taking L after L, and rightfully so. The guy was. I mean, I don't even know where to start with this one. We've just kind of been seeing him tarred and feathered.
When I was younger.
Aunt Sue says leave Lithuania alone, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like she's got a piece of it. I mean, come on.
She owns no. But yeah, Prince Andrew.
When Prince Andrew, when they were younger, I can't remember how old we were. You can ask Aunt Sue to chime in on this one. He got into he was an embarrassment to the Queen because there was some story that came out. He was seeing some woman named Koo Stark. I forget who she was, an actress, like a B-level actress or whatever. And it was this big scandal that he was carousing around with this woman, and the Queen wanted her out, and so he got this nickname of Randy Andy, meaning like he's a playboy kind of thing.
Randy Andy.
When I talked to my Scottish friend years ago about this, she said, well, that was all a farce. Apparently, they all said that, or everyone thought that he was gay, and they didn't want to make a big deal about it. So remember, this is decades ago when you didn't publicize that. People didn't want to, but you know that. So I was shocked by that. I said, are you kidding me? For all the brouhaha they made over that. Fast forward now. You thought that was bad back then. Look at the mess that this guy has created for the royal family. And look at where it's landed him. Not only him, but now the wife too has been involved in, or the ex-wife. And his daughters, who probably had nothing to do with this. Maybe you didn't even know. They were probably little girls at the time when all this awful stuff happened. And now, their lives are kind of in an uproar too over it.
Yeah.
Bit of embarrassment. So.
Well, that's an understatement because now you have all this stuff coming out about that. I don't know her name, and I probably shouldn't even say her name. Is that her name, the teenager?
Yeah, Virginia.
Yeah,
she wrote a book.
Yes, yeah. And that's arguably why he's really getting everything stripped. I mean, he probably should be in prison, but he probably should be in prison, but I guess if I were him, I'd be happy that I'm just getting my title stripped, right? So, yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of a shit show what he's going to be going through the name's tainted at this point, tarnished, however you want to put it. But
well, there was a rumor that he was the Queen's favorite. So nothing was going to happen to him while the Queen was alive, right? And naturally, as more heirs were born and the young prince had his children, Andrew was falling further and further down the succession line. So you knew once mommy was dead, his time was numbered.
Yeah.
There really was no role for him anymore.
He's still technically eighth in line.
Yeah, but still, not after this. Obviously, you can't. This is a scandal that he made it worse for himself. He did an interview that was just a mess.
Yeah. And they also found records of him talking to Epstein after the incident where they were trying to arrest him. So he said they weren't friends anymore, and he has an email string with them.
Yep.
It's not good. I mean, I think.
And the wife too. Apparently the ex-wife was involved with this guy too, because she was somehow friends with him, or just. It's not a good look at a time when we've had this conversation before. The cultural dynamics are changing in the UK. And this young prince and his wife, they're struggling to maintain some sort of relevance in the years ahead. When the direction that it's going in is like the older people, my generation, they were not happy with the current king because of the wife Camilla being made a queen. For us, that's we don't know any about that stuff. We don't deal with it. Then you throw into the whole Prince Harry thing coming to an America, which is kind of was a slap in the face of the British. So they were on rocky grounds to begin with, and something needed to be done. You just can't let this slide. And I think it was a good thing on the part of the monarchy.
Incoming news, mother. Incoming news from my aunt.
Okay.
Oh my god, she's like and so you're like a producer over here. It's
Yeah.
what's the thing that Bannon does with the get the guys in Utah or whatever it is?
Yeah. Denver.
She
I
said
need the guys in Denver.
Andrew got caught in a lie. Records show Fergie and Andrew emailed Epstein separately after claiming they had no contact with him, which is what I just said. So a little delay, but that's okay. Yeah. So I mean, the name's tainted. It's over. Shot. Done. I don't know what you do with this guy. He just kind of goes off. Did you see his house though? The house that he was allowed to stay in. Beautiful house.
Yeah.
And he only had to give like I forget what it was, but they had some kind of weird deal for what he has to pay the monarchy with in order to keep that house. It's not even in finances. It's like in soybeans or something like that.
Well, he doesn't have he doesn't.
Yeah.
What income does he have?
Exactly.
His money can come from the trust or from the estate or whatever his brother gives him. He was the Duke of York. So technically all of York was his, but I think he was stripped of that, and now he's officially stripped of all royal title whatsoever.
Yeah.
So he's just he's like you and me. He's just, an everyday guy. Having said that,
Don't compare me to him.
Well,
Don't
you
you
never take
dare.
away the fact that he's the blood relative of the King of England. You
Yeah.
never can take that away. But they've had their share, with the one that abdicated because of the Windsor. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank. King George, whatever his name was, the one I went to. It turns out he was.
I'm waiting for the Ansu text.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the
friends
Ansu
with the
text.
Nazis, and all these stories came out with Elizabeth that she had to deal with it. So there's been a lot of when the monarchy. You can't hide the stuff anymore like they used to before social media.
Oh,
and
yeah.
before the news and everything. There's a lot of stuff that the monarchy got away with that nobody knew about. Nowadays, you can't do that, and it really drags the monarchy down at a time like we've been saying. They're struggling to stay relevant, and they got to generate income, or the people of that country, if they don't get their act together, it's turning, and they don't. It's not a population that needs a white Anglo-Saxon king and queen. So I think they had no choice but to start cutting loose some of the ones that are underperforming or dragging them down.
Right. Last article that I have. I can't stand Billie Eilish, but so Billie Eilish calls on billionaires to give away their wealth. Mark Zuckerberg in the room. If you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? It's like I always love when the 16-year-old multi-millionaire is telling other millionaires or billionaires, hey, why do you have money? What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Again, I don't have much good things to say about Billie Eilish. She seems kind of like, talk about out of touch. I don't even know why I really grabbed this article. It just kind of made me mad that she, it just annoys me when someone who's super successful tries to act like the hero and say, why are you guys so successful? So she took the donations or the proceeds from her new album, which came out to like $11 million, and gave it away to charity to kind of show billionaires like, oh, you could do great things with money. And then I was telling you before the podcast, if you were to take every billionaire's wealth in the world, which there's 3,000 billionaires in the world, roughly. I think it's like 3,028. If you were to take all their wealth, it only comes out to $16 trillion, which is a lot of money, but that still doesn't even do half of our national debt. So we put the weight on these billionaires and millionaires, whatever, when in reality, it really doesn't make much of a difference what they do with their money at this point. So, yeah, I don't know. Just, you know what this seems like? A fart in the wind. That's what I'm going to use. A fart in the wind.
In America, we have this ideal that success is good, but only for certain people. Okay? Who those certain people are is arbitrary, right? We've always rewarded people for being successful.
Right.
And the reality is many of these billionaires, which, I mean, it's jealousy. People get jealous. Oh, why is Elon Musk? He's no smarter than I am, right? That kind of mentality. How come he can have billions of dollars? Or Bill Gates. Bill Gates, why does he have billions of dollars? because of the way they ran businesses or the ideas they had or the people they worked with.
Yeah.
Usually, not always, but these type of billionaires are self-made. They didn't inherit it.
73% of
Right.
billionaires billionaires. 73% of the billionaires in this world are self-made. 33% inherited their wealth, which is
Right, which is purely, I mean, I don't know about this world, but I know in America, that's the American dream. You earn your money, you create wealth. Now, the reality is for all the people who say tax the wealthy. We do tax the wealthy,
yeah.
but we also create loopholes and ways for them to get around being taxed. So instead of saying we need to tax them more, they need to look at, if you really want to make a difference, you want to say things like stop giving them all these loopholes or ways, shell companies and whatnot,
Yeah.
ways to get around it.
But then
But
the
here's the
politicians
reality.
can't use those. That's the
Exactly.
problem. Yeah.
And they get funded. That's the way of the world.
Yeah.
So, but here's the
Unfortunately.
thing. Many of them, like Elon Musk, employ a lot of people
Yeah.
in businesses. Many of them invest in businesses with their money. And that's what gives people who buy Billie Eilish's records a job.
Yeah. See how it all comes full circle?
So I'm not quick to badmouth billionaires. Sure, I'd love to be one. Yes, I would like to be philanthropic because I understand you can't take it with you. How much money is too much money, or when is it enough? And I'm sure there's many billionaires out there who do hoard their money and they don't do. But there's plenty of them who make the money work by investing in communities
Right.
and towns. A sports team, right?
Elon made that whole city for his employees, right? Tesla,
Right.
whatever. So
Right.
you could make the argument he's helping his scientists, his employees.
Right. And I'm sure Billie Eilish employs people. I'm sure she has lawyers. I'm sure she has PR people. They all get jobs. They all get paid by her corporation that owns her, blah, blah, blah. But that's the point. It's you can give the money away. So that's a one-time gift. Or you can invest in a company that provides multiple jobs for generations or produces things, pharmaceuticals or something. So to be quick to say, oh, billionaires are bad, and why don't you just give your money away? Well, yeah, you could do that, or they do give it
Yeah.
away in the form of an investment.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of Mark Cuban, but I mean, at least he tried to do that medical company to help people get cheaper medications, right? At least he attempted. I can give him
Yeah.
that. I can give him credit for that, but it never took off because the pharmaceutical companies basically shut him down. Which just goes to show you that even these billionaires don't have that much power.
Right.
But I think my problem is they always say tax the rich more and more and more, when in reality, even if you took 50% of their finances, hypothetically, it still would not make a dent to the debt. So who do you go to? Who has the most overall money, which is middle class? Like if you were to add everyone else's finances together, theirs is more than the billionaires. So I don't know how many billionaires are actually in the United States. I'm sure we have the most. Well, maybe Saudi Arabia has more, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't make a dent. It wouldn't matter. So that's why just taxing the rich, it just pushes them out of the state that they're living in.
Well, you're going to see what happens with, like, for instance, New York. So now you're going to jack up the taxes to pay for that socialism. That whole tax base is going to leave.
Oh yeah.
They're going to now, like Trump did, they'll make Florida their address. So Mr. Memdani is about to learn pretty quickly how, if you think you're going to rely on the tax base, they're just going to leave.
Yeah.
It's not hard for them to leave. It's literally just change my address, check a box. It's not like middle class people that have to sell a house, find a house, get a moving truck, switch schools. It's easy for them to do it.
His ideology is going to kill New York City.
Right. But that's the example I'm saying.
Yeah.
In the United States, you want to start taxing the billionaires or take their money, they'll leave.
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
go to other countries where they don't get taxed. It's not hard for them to do that. But when they start talking about socialized medicine, because we're due for that conversation pretty soon.
Oh,
We
yeah.
should have what the UK has. We should have what, everybody says. The number one thing they will say is we need to tax the rich more to pay for it. And every time the economists have to say, you could take all the money from all the billionaires and the wealthy or millionaires in this country, it still will not cover health care
Even a
for
little bit.
every,
Yeah.
wait for it, American citizen. That's not even factoring in all the illegals we have added to our programs in the last 10 years. You're going to find we're going to go through that song and dance. It happens cyclically all the time. I think I've had it a couple times in my lifetime. It's going to come again. Just tax the wealthy. That's what my answer to somebody like a Billie Eilish who's all of what, a minute old, who thinks she knows everything.
A minute
Okay.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I
Okay,
mean.
Billie
Like,
Eilish, go
listen,
ahead.
she makes music. I just like how I wouldn't expect LeBron James to have a take on economics. Like, first off, way too young to be having any form of an opinion. You lived a different life than 90% of people. Your parents were very wealthy, to my understanding, and then you become a successful musician. And then at the age of, I think it was 16, millionaire. What, you want to try and you want to act like you're one of us? It doesn't really. Yeah, like you're bad. Like you're going to be the voice of reason. Anyway, I will say I prefer her over Greta Thunberg, though. I will give her that.
I don't mind. She's entitled to her opinion.
Sure.
And it's a charming, cute little idea. We've heard it many times, sweetheart. You're not the first one to come up with this idea.
But you
and
but she couldn't come up with a better question than, if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? That's a word for word quote. If you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? It's like, I don't know. We all have very successful companies. Things that you use every day, Billy, they own. That's why they're billionaires. Yeah. So I don't know. It's catering to the next generation, I guess, because she has that big following of little girls or whatever. But yeah.
And remember too, I mean, this is a side thing, but billionaire is what millionaire used to be 100 years ago, right? I mean, they're the equivalent to the Rothschilds, the Cornelius Vanderbilts, those people at the turn of the century who were multimillionaires, or not even, maybe they had $10 million. They were considered the richest people in the world. So everything's relative too. There are a lot more billionaires now than there ever used to be because, the dollar changes.
Can I make a counterpoint here?
Yeah.
Most billionaires are only billionaires on paper. Like, it's not like they have billions of dollars in the bank. It's usually all in investments and shares and stocks and whatever. Technically speaking, if those companies go to zero tomorrow, which is unlikely but possible, your billionaires go away. So what I mean by that is, I mean that's not realistically.
That's true. Their net worth is billions of dollars.
But they don't physically
cash on hand.
Exactly. So it's like, what do you want them to do? Liquidate all their stocks and bonds and stuff every year to pay what they're worth? It's just kind of unrealistic.
Yeah, like I said, she's a minute old, so she'll grow up and she'll realize that, oh, now I understand when she makes her first billion. And hey, guess what, people? When you pay your taxes every year, there's no law that says you can't pay more. So for all these individuals who want all these wonderful things funded, feel free to give an extra 10 grand on your taxes, or sell one of your houses and put it on your taxes. She gave it away. God, give it to the government. No, nothing that says you can't give more to the government.
My favorite.
Take more tax dollars.
Yeah, my favorite is the famous clip with Tucker Carlson and Mark Cuban. Have you seen this one? Where Mark Cuban talks about how we need to give more money to the Ukraine war when it was kind of first starting.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And Tucker's like, well, how much money have you given? And Mark's like, oh, I've given none. And he goes, you're the one that said you have Ukrainian family members and you don't want to give money? So Mark Cuban, as I said, not the biggest fan. He's done some good things, but like some of these billionaires are kind of not very smart.
They're working on a different level, and they don't. J.K. Rowling, she recently went after Emma Watson, right? They've been having like a texting verbal thing, but she gave a great response because Watson was now kind of backpedaling. Oh, I never meant to cause harm. I love J.K. Rowling, like that type of response. And Rollins proceeds to systematically go through, and she starts with, I remember when you were 5 years old and couldn't remember your lines, meaning,
really,
I made you before,
which is true.
But she also goes through and she explains, you've had money from a very young age. I grew up with no money. I know what it means to use like a public bathroom and blah, 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 blah. And she just systematically goes through reminding these wealthy young people who were, yes, Emma Watson made her wealth, but she did it at a young age, has no idea what it means to be poor because of J.K. Rowling's books, right? She owes a lot more to her, this whole entitlement idea that, I know better than you because ... So back to what you're saying, a lot of these young people think they know so much. Many have been poor. Many of them don't know or don't remember what it means to be a middle class person.
So to your point, so she's worth $85 million now. It says right here that she earned a significant income from the Harry Potter films, reportedly $30 million for both Deathly Hallow movies. So the last two. She must have been 18 by the time those movies ended. So she was worth $30 million at the age of 18. How crazy is that?
Right.
So it's crazy how you could be so, I don't want to say out of touch, but think that you're like part of the non 1%, right? And then have an opinion.
To make judgment calls.
Yeah.
Right. I can't speak for Billie Eilish. She said she comes from a wealthy family.
Yes.
There are a lot of wealthy people now, actresses and actors, they were poor. You know, they know what it meant to be poor.
But so were most billionaires. Most billionaires started from nothing, 73% of
Yes,
them.
many of them understand that. I just laugh at some of these individuals who have this opinion. And like I said, I would encourage anybody to read J.K. Rowling's comments to her about, just keep in mind, you don't understand what it means to be a person who has to use a bathroom that might have, a man in it, or have to go to a gym. You don't have your own private gym. She was making that point to this individual. And now you're going to turn around and you're going to say to me, oh, sorry, never meant to harm you, after I got violent attacks. I mean, maybe I'm digressing from the conversation, but it's just always interesting for these individuals that, they know better, and you should give to the poor and you should take care of people. Of course, that's true. But there's a way to do that. And I don't begrudge a billionaire investing in a community. You need that. You need these investments. If they just give it away to people, they'll walk away with the money, and it's a one hit deal. You give somebody a job, they can pay for their family for their lives.
Yeah. Let me hit this, and then let me boop boop. Last one I had. This one's not really an article, but I want to talk to you because I want your opinion on this one, because one of the big talking points this week on the internet. I shouldn't say big talking points, but one of the big questions going around right now on the internet is Las Vegas dead? Now, Kenny was just in Vegas, so I should ask him. But Las Vegas.
Is it dead?
Is it
the bodies they found?
No, is it a dead? They found bodies in Las Vegas?
Yes, they found these graves with like 60 bodies. Yeah, outside of Vegas.
Really? Well, no, that's not what I was looking at. The question is Las Vegas dying? Now, I just watched a documentary, sort of a documentary, of a YouTuber that went to Vegas, and it was basically a ghost town during the week. Obviously, your Saturdays, it's a lot more lively. But they were talking about how expensive Vegas is. Like, a soda can cost you $12, like a canned soda, and how ridiculous it is. But the other thing that I want to correlate this to, because there was CoffeeZilla. If you remember CoffeeZilla, we've talked about it a few times when we talk about the crypto scams.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I remember that.
He was talking about how bad the gambling is now. Gambling addiction and all that stuff, because of how easy it is to gamble. How easy it is to do DraftKings, to do gambling on your phone. It's a great video, and I'll send it to you to watch. But I didn't realize how incentivizing how incentivizing gambling has gotten, in the sense of even your banking apps will allow you to do slots directly from the banking. So the reason I'm bringing up the two things together is gambling, online gambling, going to kill Las Vegas? Because it's not like the 60s anymore, where Vegas, I mean, you would get free hotels because they wanted you to go gamble in the casinos. Free drinks and everything, because they expected you to spend thousands and thousands in the casino.
It's not only that. When Vegas started too, it wasn't just about the gambling. It was about the experience.
Right.
You had headliners there. You had the Rat Pack. You wanted to go and gamble, and then you saw a show, and you went to the best restaurant, and all celebrities went there, and it was, glitzy and glamorous and entertaining.
Right.
I remember Celine Dion was there. I think Mariah Carey was there. I haven't heard recently of any big names in Vegas that entertain, and they would move there. They would do a show every night for like 3 years was their contract.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in a while. I don't know when the last time, they built this dome, spent a lot of money on the dome. That was supposed to be a big attraction.
They spent a crazy amount of money, and they're in debt because of it, which is arguably why everything in that town's gone up, because they have to pay it off.
And I don't know what's the draw. Like, I've never heard. And now, to your point, I don't have to go to Vegas to gamble. I don't have to go to Atlantic City to gamble. I can do it from home. But that's not the experience you're supposed to be getting. When you guys were younger, they were trying to claim, Vegas is for family. They wanted to make it a family place. Well, you know what? That's not going to happen. It's
Yeah.
there's too much. It's Sin City for a reason, and we
What
would see
happens
these
in
kids
Vegas stays
walking
in
around.
Vegas.
Right. When you guys were younger, I'm like, I'm not bringing the guys here. It's it's really not an appeal
Yeah.
for young kids. You can't gamble. They don't allow it. They tried to put like fun things for the kids to do on the strip. No thanks. As guys are handing you stripper cards on the corner to little kids' hands. So
So
it just wasn't that.
what?
Yeah, it's not that kind of environment, right? So I think it's dying in the sense that I'm not a big Vegas person. I don't keep track of the shows and
Yeah.
all that. We would run into a lot of people who live in that area, like Arizona or California. You say, yeah, we take the plane for the weekend. We go see a show. We love Vegas. It's fun. It's glitzy. You walk around. You see celebrities. I don't know if that happens anymore. I don't know if people bother.
Yeah, it's too expensive. To your point, I don't think anyone's considering Vegas to be a kid's place. It's something that you might go to once a year, but you're not really seeing people outside of Vegas flocking to it when I can just do slots on my phone now. We have friends in our Discord that they will do online, Johnny, they will do online gambling, like in the sense of literally just click a button all day. Johnny will just go through buttons and buttons and buttons of just like guerrilla game. Like the games have become more fun than just slots, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
but as I was saying, I know someone else, not Johnny, who spends $750 a month on gambling. And I'm like, dude, don't you have a house you have to pay for? And he's like, I'll make the money back. It's like, when has anyone ever made the money? Hey, no, Average Couple Cool. What's up, Average Couple Cool? Long time no see.
Yeah, it's interesting that they have a set amount, which I guess that's a good thing. That they only, I do $750. I'd be scared if they say $712.33 every month. But it's for some people that's their entertainment, and I don't begrudge somebody that. Some people like to go to the movies every weekend. That's a couple $100 right there every weekend, right? Or go out to dinner.
I don't
or
know
whatever.
about that. Oh, okay. Couple $100 for movies and stuff? The hell kind of
go
movies we
out
going to?
Three nights at $20 a ticket. It's
Oh,
expensive
well,
going to the movies nowadays, right? If you go out
which
every
is why
night,
no one does it and they
go out
watch
to dinner.
Netflix. Yeah, movies are dying. Right, this was the first year. I told you the first year that all the big movies just flopped. Superman did not do well. Everyone liked it, but
I know Hollywood is really
Hollywood's
this, like
eating
27
shit
years
right
is
now.
the worst year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the anime movies are going through the roof.
Yeah.
New Chainsaw Man movie just came out, right? They did the first movie.
Wait.
Wait.
A lot of woke,
Hear this
a lot of
though.
woke crap.
Oh yeah, that's true too. But right, Chainsaw Man, which is an anime, $4 million to make it. Right now, it's at 150 million right now. Like, talk about a return on investment, right? $4 million to make, and like that.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go down the digital route pretty soon, and I think this is kind of
that with the AI.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was gonna say.
They're
That's
heading
kind
that
of
way.
the
That's why Hollywood's freaking out because people don't go to the movies anymore. They don't
Yeah.
want to pay for the tickets. They don't want to go. It's too expensive, and the product is not necessarily. How desperate do I have to be to go watch a movie that just basically bashes things that I believe in?
yeah.
I could care less. I don't need to go.
I watched the whole thing on why The Witcher 4 is doing so poorly. The Witcher season 4 with Liam whatever.
Hemsworth?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was doing well.
Oh, it's doing terribly. To the point where it's surprising they didn't cancel it. It's all girl power, basically, right?
Yeah,
so yeah, I think that show's probably not going to get renewed next season. But
well, they're trying to infuse everything now. It's got to have some aspect, and maybe it's subtle and it's not a make or break for the film, but it's still one of these.
it's
like,
enough to
okay,
piss you off.
Well, it's becoming like trite. It's becoming, like, okay, when is the lesbian gonna walk in, or when is the anti-establishment person gonna mouth off when they're just having sodas at lunch? Like it's forced and unnecessary. Just tell me ahead of time if the movie's gonna be a certain way, and then they get all upset in Hollywood when these shows tank. And I go back to what we said with Billie Eilish. We pay for the tickets that pay for your movie or your album. So
Right.
if you want to piss us off, fine.
Just don't be upset when your finances go down because you're pissing people off and no one wants to buy your shit. Yeah.
Right. Which is another, not to go on the side joke, but another reason why I love capitalism. My dollar, I'm one small person, but we speak with our dollars. If the government owns the Hollywood industry, they'll just pump more tax dollars into it so they all can make their $30 million a movie, even though it's not justified. Well, capitalism. Your movie sucks. You don't make money. You don't get paid as much the next
Yeah.
movie. How about that?
Which is funny how,
Capitalism.
yeah, like you would think that this, like I thought the Superman movie did really well, and it turns out it did not. It didn't even do a third of what Henry Cavill's Superman did, and that's why he will always be my Superman.
Listen, I saw the Superman movie.
Yeah.
First of all, the highlight was the dog,
Crypto.
but I'm a dog person. And parts of it was different. I won't say I didn't like it. It was different than the usual Superman that we all know and love. So once you got over that, it wasn't too bad. There was a lot of game. You saw it?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay. There's a gaming
I don't have the
aspect to
I
it.
don't have the attention span for movies anymore. They just
Bad
bore me.
guy is like a gaming. Lex Luthor is has a gaming simulator.
Oh,
Anyhow,
really?
but here's the stupid thing. The dog is his cousin's dog.
Yes.
How does Superman, who is the only survivor from the planet of Kryptonite, have a cousin? It's stupid. You know, like they throw something like that
Oh,
in.
mother, you
and it
don't
makes
know the
no sense.
comics, Mom. You got
I
you
know,
got
I
you
know.
got
There's a
Superman, you got Wonder Boy, you
dog.
got Supergirl. I mean, that's his cousin. Wonder Boy, I think, is his son. Come on, Ma. You got to know this stuff. You can't be having a podcast and not know comic book lore.
For people who don't know all of comic books, which you got to assume when you go to a movie, you don't know all the background. It has to make sense.
Yeah, that's true.
And the whole premise is how, he's the only one who left and his parents sent them, blah, blah, blah.
So, real fast, you can make the argument, though, for like The Witcher, for instance. Most people watching The Witcher are people who played the games or read the books. You can't go off script like The Witcher season 4 does and then expect it to do well because it has the Witcher logo on it. Like,
but here's the other thing, too. If you're not into that, which I wasn't,
yeah.
I had to watch that stupid show a few times to understand what was going on because I don't know the game. Like I don't, and it's a bizarro story if you just go see it as a story.
That's true.
For you guys, it's based on games, just like when I see something based on a book. Oh, now I get it. For somebody going into it cold, they don't have any background information. It's not an easy story. It doesn't just flow,
Right.
So I think it's a tough sell for anybody who's not into the Witcher series.
Shoot, what was I going to say?
Whereas like a Superman, you could know nothing about comics and enjoy a Superman.
True. I think the last superhero movie to do well was the Robert Pattinson Batman, right? I can't think of the last. Well,
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Did Deadpool do well? I don't know if it did well.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, did it?
yes.
Yeah, okay. I'll take your word for it.
Wolverine.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
A portion, yeah.
Too bad it wasn't that good. It was okay. It wasn't great.
Well, I liked it. I thought it was typical Deadpool humor and.
Yeah.
Well, you remember for people. All right, so now that's one. You're right. The highlight of that is you have to know background superhero movies to appreciate the cameos and stuff in it. So for somebody like Mike, it was,
I want to see what was
for people who are really into it. It was good.
Box office. Did it do well? Approximately did a total of 1.3 billion. Yeah, that did really well.
Yeah, it's
Domestic
really well.
markets.
Oh, come on. How could you not?
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
Come on.
And you bring back who? You bring back Captain America and Flame on.
Yeah, as the Human Torch.
Elektra. You're bringing some of the old ones. Blade.
Oh well, So the Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman didn't do too poorly either. 700 million, almost 800 million. So
yeah,
that
was good. But that was a different version too, and it did well. So you can do, like what I said about Witcher, you can do a darker or different version. I didn't mind the Superman that they did this time. I had to wrap my head around it a little bit because it wasn't what I expected. Dad didn't like it. He walked away. He couldn't.
Really?
He lost interest. Yeah, he lost interest in it. He saw the dog. He was fine. He didn't need to see anyone. The dog.
Interesting. Yeah. So that's all the articles we have. If anyone wants to ask us any questions, I don't know who's still here, but we'll take any questions about anything at this point. Yeah.
It's just you and me
I don't
now.
know. I can't see the total
You
view
mean
count.
Aunt Sue?
Yeah. I can't see the total view count because I forgot to set it up, but it's fine. We could do a couple more minutes and just see if anyone has any questions or takes. Doesn't really matter to me. A little tired. And I still have
okay.
yeah, I'm all talked out. I had a lot to do. I still have a lot to do tonight, unfortunately.
Busy.
Yeah.
Keeps Chris out of trouble.
Keeps me out of trouble. I could be doing drugs, but instead,
Keeps
I'm
him
doing
off the
work.
streets, away from the gangs of North Carolina.
Yeah. Did you listen to the Elon podcast on Rogan over the weekend? Yes, we talked about that a little before you got here. Yeah, it's very interesting. He talks about the AI utopia, which there's a lot to go into that. I think it would be my mom didn't watch it, so I think that would be kind of a pointless conversation because she won't have a context. But yeah, it just talks about how basically the only way that we can have an economic boom is with AI, and basically we have to essentially, in basic terms, we have to just make more money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pay less people and do more economic pushes, I guess you could say. Watch for next time, Mom. Okay, Mom, you're forced to watch the 3-hour podcast.
I'm saving that. We saved those podcasts. Like Dad perked up because I was listening to. Okay, so this is an aside. There was a clip. Elon Musk exposes what's been going on with the Democratic Party. Like, all right, let me see what this one is. And the clip is just basically him saying, well, they've been bringing in all these people so they can vote illegally to keep them in power. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm smarter than a billionaire. We've all known this for how long?
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Elon. Like, they made it sound like this was cutting edge information and nobody knew this. Yeah, okay. So Dad heard it and he goes, is that a new one or the old one? And I knew he just did a new one. So I said, we'll save it for the next long car ride. We always like to keep certain podcasts so we can listen to something when we do those long trips.
Yeah. Good question, though. I mean, it was a very interesting podcast. I could watch that. I could watch Rogan all the time. Rogan's good, but I'll say this: only like 5% of his guests I actually care about. I used to watch almost everything, but then I realized some of these people, it's just kind of tough to listen to. You know,
I like clips of some of the people.
Well, his podcasts are 3 hours long, like
right,
a little too long.
Some of the people I don't mind, like Russell Crowe, we listened to on a long trip. It was good, but then after a while, I'm like, all right, enough of Russell Crowe's life. And who's the other one? Jillian Michaels. We listened to her coming back, talking about, do you know the exercise guru, Jillian Michaels? She was Biggest Loser.
Oh, yeah. Dad was actually telling me about that. Oh, maybe it was you. I don't remember.
She was interesting. But again, they go off on rails and start talking about other stuff that it could be anybody who's the guest. Doesn't have to be her. So that type, some of them I don't mind listening to. It kills a lot of time, but then after a while, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this person. Let's find another one.
I have to apologize to Aunt Susan. I usually don't have my phone in front of me when we're doing these. She was talking about Vegas, and she said, Vegas is dead when they can eradicate the all-you-can-eat buffets for $6 a person. It's true. But she also wants to know where the Barbie cutout is. It's actually right in front of Mom. It's by our basement, Aunt Sue. It's right by the pole.
Oh, yes. Actually, no, she's been put away. She's tucked in the closet. I had to clear her out.
Wow.
Yeah. No, she was up for the longest time. You're right. Off
to
the side.
It's kind of off to the side of camera. I don't know if viewers ever saw that thing, to be honest. No, they did, because I posted a picture in Discord of
a couple people came down, so Uncle Ray did a double take because he forgot about what it was.
Right.
And somebody else, I think Michael had never seen it, or he didn't remember it from the pan from the birthday.
Yeah, from the birthday.
And his comment was like, what the hell is that, Mom? Like, I actually created it for myself for fun on the
My
side.
mom's a narcissist.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like making a Barbie poster of myself, Mike, and put my head on it. So.
Yeah. Interesting. Good questions.
But I still have it.
Questions. Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
I might go in the pool room at the pool table
next
room
house?
at the next house. Yeah, over in the corner.
Put it by the helicopter pad.
Helicopter pad. The sauna.
The sauna. Oh, God, I would love a sauna. I have to start pushing this place for a sauna. I'm the only one that does anything. Can you guys get me a sauna?
Your brother goes every night.
Yeah,
like
I wish my place. Yeah, saunas are great for you. I just don't know if you need to do it every night.
I should get him a satin robe to wear back from the gym.
Oh, the looks that he would get. Also, that robe would smell terrible.
We came back. I visited him down there, right, in Miami. We come back to the building like 11 o'clock. We're standing at the elevator. We're both looking at each other, trying to suppress like a laugh, like we're giving each other the eye. Get on the elevator, go up to his floor. Other people get on the elevator. We get off, and Mike goes, well, I guess they lost our invitation to the Playboy party. So these two couples get on. Of course, the women are dressed by Playboy bunnies. The guys have on the satin with the pipe or the cigars in the
Right.
pocket. So it was obviously a Hugh
Party.
Hefner party. And they're acting like it's perfect. It wasn't even Halloween yet. Acting like it's perfectly normal to be, the girls have the full end with the
It's
tights and the
Miami.
high heels. Right. And, Mike and I are trying to keep a face, trying to talk about, the weather or something, keeping a straight face. And we get off the elevator and he's like, well, guess we didn't get invited to that party. Like you want to take your mother to that kind of party anyhow? But anyhow, it's funny.
Huh.
Only in
Oh, shit.
Miami.
Yeah. So, any other questions before we wrap up this podcast? Shane, you came in like super late. We did an hour 30. I guess it felt like an hour 30. I mean, we could just do questions. I'm in no rush for anything. I just have to do some stuff later.
I think they've all heard me ramble enough.
Yeah. The amount of comments that we get of Mom, you talk too much.
I know. I'm sure.
Yeah. What else? We had some massive video games come out this last week, so.
Oh.
Yeah, thank God.
That's good. You usually say there's not much out there.
Yeah. And Matt Sprague has DM'd me basically every second of every day asking me, hey, you going to play? When are you playing? Bro, I haven't been in your stream in a long time. Yeah, it has been. Well, I've been gone for the last 2 weeks, but yeah, we'll be back on regular schedule on Tuesday. Tomorrow I have a meeting at night, so I won't be able to. But yeah, we'll be back on normal schedule.
You still do speed runs and stuff?
Oh yeah, I still have to finish 2 more for November. I have to start posting those, and then we're getting ready for the big Resident Evil game comes out in February. So we have 2 more left.
Oh.
So I have to finish those. So yeah, that's about it. And then we had the new. So right now the big gaming world, Battlefield's Call of Duty's just doing so poorly that Battlefield's taken over. So I've been playing the new Battlefield, which we would be streaming it, but I haven't been here for the last 2 weeks. So I've been recording it, and
Right.
yeah, it's really fun. So we'll probably start doing that. It's the first time in probably 12 years, I would say, that I actually didn't have a Call of Duty on my computer, which is crazy. Yeah. I haven't really been, no one's been playing Call of Duty because Red Sack is the new, the Battlefield version.
Red Sack.
I don't know what it stands for. Red Sack. I gotta look at it. Recon something. I don't know. Military terms. I don't know military terms. What else? I'm trying to think. That's really all I've been doing between editing and other stuff. So, yeah. I'm looking at any questions if anyone has any. Just the awkward lull.
I'd just like to point out that your mother's not rambling right now.
That's because we had to put a limit on you.
That's okay. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. And then we also have Arc Raiders, which came out the other day, which is pretty big. I've been doing Power Wash Simulator in my free time. Power wash. It's literally what it sounds like. Power washing stuff. It's satisfying to power wash. Won't clean my room, but I'll power wash the entire house.
Oh God.
Hey, the second one's way better than the first. It's free on the Game Pass, which is why I got it. Game Pass is, I thought that they would take a bigger hit with that price hike, but I'm still fine. I'm liking it. Yeah. I don't mind spending the $2 extra. All you poors out there who can't afford.
We have to look at all these gaming systems after the holidays and see if the sales went up. How we're marketing them, like the handheld Switch and all that stuff. Let's see if they actually, or the Xbox.
Yeah.
See if it actually affected the Christmas sales, the holiday sales.
Let me tell you, I appreciate our viewers because they're really reaching here. What's your favorite game? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Deep question. No, my favorite is the God of War series. I've always been a huge fan of the story, which I think they're making a movie on pretty soon. I think The Rock's gonna be Kratos, which is gonna be pretty cool. But he's gonna have to get back on the steroids. I think they should have. I think they need Joe Rogan to play Kratos from God of War because he's bald. That's about it.
I was in Target with Michael, and he was getting cranky. So
Surprise.
just like when he was little, I took him over to the Lego area.
You just leave him there. You come back. He's in the center playing with Legos.
I do with all you guys. So I came back and this was a good Target, and right before the holidays, they have all the really cool ones out, like the expensive ones. And every other one, he said, "Ooh, Kenny would really like this one." I won't say what it is. "Ooh, Chris would really like this one." What he liked was the Laura Tomb Raider.
Oh, Laura Croft, yeah.
They have a whole like $300 thing Lego for her. I said, "How obscure to pick that of all the Legos to come up with."
Okay, I know
big,
exactly.
big one.
I'm willing to bet, and you don't have to say what it is. The one that he was gonna get Kenny was like one of the McLaren ones, like the Lego cars.
Not even close.
Really? So then it's got to be the Thousand Sunny from One Piece. That's the only other Lego that Kenny would like, and I would like put it on.
I'm not even gonna go down.
I would really love if Santa got me.
Oh my
I would
God.
really appreciate it if Santa got me the Thousand Sunny or my Munchkin kitten.
I guess you're missing the point of that whole conversation. Was I dropped my 23-year-old off the Lego section, and he's picking them out for his 30-year-old.
Yeah,
and his
I would just
22-year-old
really
brother.
appreciate it. Well, you should see what I got them. Here, let me show you what I got them. I think you'll like this real fast because I know they don't watch the podcast. So
Don't forget to bring out your penny. Was it Pennywise for Halloween, or is it over? Maybe you had it out the whole time.
I was
It
just
clown that you put together.
I was just about to say that is exactly what I did. I haven't put it out. So ready? I hope Kenny and Michael aren't watching. I got them Funko Pops. Have you ever seen these Funko Pops? Dad wasn't sure what they were. Right? So I'll show you guys.
Oh, I think I've seen them.
Yeah. So I got Michael. Ready? Deadpool.
Yeah.
Wolverine. Right?
Oh, cute.
That's a good one. And then I got Kenny. Luffy, and Naruto. So it'll work out perfect.
Oh, they have a Luffy one now? Oh, geez.
Oh my God! When we went to the store in Raleigh, they had a comic. Mom, it's ungodly how many Funko Pops there are. Mom, walls of them, of like not just the stuff that we watch, but you have comic books, you had Game of Thrones, you had Harry Potter, you had. I was like, what the hell? Brooke has the whole Office cast. Like they make Office. It's crazy how many Funkos they must be making those like candy. And then there's special ones. Also, I thought they were going to be way more expensive. Each one's only like $15.
They're even cheaper at Five Below, but you can't get everything.
Oh.
That's where we got MGK.
This is an MGK Funko Pop?
Yeah, Mike has them.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah,
so I'm just
with a
adding to
couple
Mike's
of them.
collection?
Well, you didn't get that one, but yeah, we were there one day, and I think his comment at the time, tells you how long ago it was, "Oh, if they have a Megan Fox
Oh, God.
to go with it." I said, no, they didn't have that, but yeah, it was cheap, so he got one. He was in college at the time.
Oh, really? Wow. I've never seen it, but all right. I mean, we can end it there just because we did an hour 42.
Wait, I don't want that shit for me for Christmas. Don't be getting me a Funko.
Oh, God, let me go grab my receipt.
Let me just go on the record as saying, I'm just thinking about this. What freaking Funko Pop are you getting me? I don't want it. Okay.
Ungrateful, mother. Ungrateful. That's all I hear. Ungrateful.
Dad ain't gonna want it either.
That's when I called Dad to tell him about it. He was like, "Don't you dare give me that shit." I was like, "Okay." There goes my idea. No, I think I know what I'm gonna get Dad, but I don't remember what it was now. I should have saved it. I always like find stuff for Dad and then I forget to save it. I'm like, oh, I know what it was, but I don't think he'd like it.
Don't say in case he watches.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's it. But all right, guys. Well, we'll wrap it up. As I said, we'll be back on regular schedule on Tuesday, and then regular schedule Tuesday is probably the best idea. So or best case scenario. So other than that, just catch up on all the videos. I couldn't tell you how many videos I posted with everything. We did finish the Mortal Shell walkthrough. I'm sure we're going to start the next one pretty soon. I don't know. We're kind of done with walkthroughs for a bit. But that's about it. So social media, promo code, Streamlinks, Discord, and I will see you guys on Tuesday, and you will hopefully see